All other sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and damnation, may they experience happiness, be separate from suffering, and save away, establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious Buddhahood. All other sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and damnation, may they experience happiness, be separate from suffering, and save away, establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious Buddhahood. Dalai don't worry, say dry, no worry, say gay. Tarba dan dam jen jen be barde ju bara se ba dam je je so se be manam ga dan nyam be sim je dam je de wa dan de dong ara dan jar yor de ana me yang da bara zo be san jo rum bo je de bar sa thus until I achieving enlightenment. I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind. We take refuge in the Kandaru Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deity of the mandalas of the Yadams. We take refuge in the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dhakas, darkness, and the Dhamma gardens, possessors of eye or wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dhamma and likewise in the example of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progress on the Bodhisattva's path, are true for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to bodhicitta, and apply myself to complete stage of the path. In the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of Janarasta and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never be separate from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. The ground is sprinkling with the scented water and stirred with the flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the spring mountain, the four continents, and the sun and the moon. As Buddha fear, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fear. To the Lama who possesses the three kayas, I offer the altar, inner and the sacred offerings with my body, word, and all that is visible. Please grant me the supreme realization enlightenment, whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying. For the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate on Guru Renamendral. Venza Manga Zamandra Zavarana Samaye Aho. Unequal refuge, ornament of the world. Your fame provides the 3,000 words. You are the victor, Vajradhara, widow adopted. I bow at the feet of Father Jigten Sumgon. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings. Dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize the unliberated nature of mind. Please turn the will of the Dharma of the two worlds and their combination according to disposition and likewise mental capacity of sentient beings. So now I'm going to chant the short Manjushri prayer. Page 32 if you have the book. Now I'm going to chant this one Tibetan. Kange lo de dim nye den dara nye da nam da ra sa wa jin ye dong gen je yen ze ze nye je do Sumgon Lingwan Zing Dai Zibe Zonrai Mare Dong Mare Jizer Roso Gen Lai Buje Darde Yin Lai Tuje Yandin Song Ro Tare Jejo Nyemo Nyilong Leje Tadro Dronze Mare Mensere Dungare Nyuge Jenye Yunze Rade Namdone Taje Sachen Tarzan Yonde Lezo Jarzen Devek Jarai Jadai Junye Jendre Dalo Mensere Jula Yone Kerlen Jangwa Bo Ye Jome Rabda Baran Jide Mo Mensarwa Jambara Yangla Sanzar. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you today the essence of the Mahayana teaching. Is commentary on Jigten Sumgon's Lamrim text. So this essence of Mahayana is a Lamrim text. So maybe you heard before the Lamrim text. You know what means Lamrim means stages, levels, one by one, stages, levels. So in Tibet, these different lineages has different Lamrim texts. The first Tibetan tradition, the Lamrim text, is Jo Onome Liberation. It's the Gambopa's book. So that is the first Lamrim, and then follow that after many religions has different Lamrim texts. This Lamrim text is actually kind of a little bit uncommon than other Lamrim texts. The reason is this Lamrim text included Vajrayana. So other most Lamrim text is, Hinayana and Mahayana levels. They don't really have included Vajrayana teachings inside there. So this one has everything, all the way Hinayana, like first level to all the way end, like Vajrayana, three yanas into all this teaching, everything. So that's the reason this Lamrim text is like kind of like whole generally all the Buddhist teachings inside this book. So when we started this going to book, it's not that hard to understand. Not that hard, but it's always followed by actually, stages one by one. It's a different text, different part. Like different than like Saturday, Sunday, I shared this stage of meditation. So I told you the stage of meditation is composed that book and focus for in this time, this time like 21st century, especially for focus for more lay people and Western country, focus for that way created the stage of meditation. The book, you're saying practice easy to follow the meditation. So this is for more like focus for just lay people and also monastics too. Lots teaching is for usually for monastics. So no, we can learn this study, and it's good to know, how generally all this Buddhist teaching. So then Jigten Sumgon has two books that are usually very famous, kind of more using in the Sheda. So in the university, like Buddhist study, one is the Gonchek text, one is the core Essence of Mahayana teaching. So that's two. It's called Tenhen and Gonchek. Tenhen means this one, Gonchek means other one. Gonchek. So actually, I have both as a commentary. So Gonchek also. Gonchek is a little bit longer. Longer means like the commentary is like create a commentary is more longer than this. So when I compose this one, followed by the Digong Dharma Kirta. The Digong Dharma Kirta is first Digong, His Holiness first Chungsang. So Digong Dharma Kirta, he has lots of teachings, many collection teachings. He has mostly Digong Kagyu tradition, the collective like teachings, collections, mostly collections he has. So he has a commentary for this, and the Jigten Sumgon's root text, Essence of Mahayana, he has a commentary, but commentary is really long, very long. It's the kind of like Tibetan, it's big one volumes, very big. So it's harder to study whole this Essence of Mahayana. He follow that because he collected this book, that commentary, and he put so many quotes from all the different teachers, like Buddha, and include Buddha, all the way, these 17 scholars and the Tibetan, like high realizer, these scholars quotes. He used that, the like 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages, almost the same. You know, the just different quote. Main point is all same. The different teachers just like, you know, saying same kind of similar. So they put all that he collected, and the Tibetan called many long is a quotes. So that's why the book is really big. And so I request to Gachen Rinpoche teach this book, and the Essence of Mahayana. Is one time he come to in Ohio, we request him to teach, because this is good for the people who wanted to practice the Dharma, have to know the also lineage, which teaching is most important. And so Gachen Rinpoche, we request him, but then the other, you know, commentary is too long, really long. So then I created, that's why this is shorter, and pick up from mostly is like Dharma Kirti, what he, you know, did, teaching, explain, and part of that mostly, but focus, what I did is focus for the root text. So Jigten Sumgon has all these root texts, and so this commentary is followed by each root text explains, not much the, you know, like quotes, other teachers what it says, just main focus for the root text. That's why we make shorter like that, this. Okay, so that's the kind of like this book come from. Why I created this book, because it's more easy to, you know, understand root text, focus for root text. Commentary is like very, very long, too long for us to read, like sometimes a couple weeks teaching. So then, and you can see this page 10 also has His Holiness Digong Chamgon. So, you know, it's forward. So he explained here is one of the Digong Kagyu's main texts, Teaching Temple Himbo. Teaching Temple Himbo is the essence of Mahayana teaching, was written by the famous such a scholar Barbo Gompa. So in the monastery upon request of Lord Jigten Sumgon. So what this means, like this famous scholar, he's from Satya, but then he come to Indigon monastery, going to debate with Jigten Sumgon. So he wanted to debate Jigten Sumgon. So when he see the Jigten Sumgon, he's become disciple of the Jigten Sumgon. This scholar, actually he's such a lineage, but he's become Jigten Sumgon's disciple. And then Jigten Sumgon, he taught teachings. So this such a scholar, Barbung Gompa, so he just put in the write down the Jigten Sumgon's teaching. So that's the you have to know, not the come from this teaching is such a scholar. But that time actually he's not such a scholar, he's become Jigten Sumgon's disciple. And so many like that in Tibetan tradition. So Gambopa also Gambopa first is the Kadampa. And then he see the Malarepa, so he's become Malarepa's disciple and follower. He started the Kaju tradition, Gambopa. So that's why the Gambopas, some teachers, so told him, we create some special person, but is he going to work for benefit other lineage? So he said that, that means like Gambopa, he has other teachers, so they take care of him, Gambopa giving teachings, and so they think that Gambopa work for them, and slowly then one day Gambopa heard the Malarepa. So then he comes to strong devotion. He told his teacher, I wanted to see Malarepa. So that teacher said, okay, you can go to see Malarepa. So what he says, I create, but the going to work for someone. Means like Gambopa is like actually the famous scholar, practitioner that the other teachers created that. But then slowly Gambopa made Malarepa. So then he followed the Malarepa. He become Malarepa's lineage holder. So like that, this also in such a scholar means he is the such a tradition. He come to see the Jigten Sumgon. He wanted to debate with the Jigten Sumgon, but then some reasons he has become Jigten Sumgon's disciple. So then he write down this Essence of Mahayana. So the Gonjek takes also when Jigten Sumgon talked, and one of his disciples write down Gonjek text. So Gonjek text is not like kind of someone like professional, create writing. Means like one by one word follow like that. Gonjek is composed of all the answers. So Jigten Sumgon, he has lots of students, and then he's one of the disciples always with him. So Jingha Shiram Jongne, and he asked questions to Jigten Sumgon. So he all collected these answers, and then the main point all put in the together, so it's become Gonjek text. So Gonjek text has a lot of contributions with other lineage scholars, but this one no any contributions. This is more for practitioner follow, easy going. This bow is very easy going. Gonjek bow is not easy going because it's like create lots debating, and the reason is usually the philosophers talk, and when Jigten Sumgon this talk to Gonjek teaching, so Jigten Sumgon talk Gonjek teaching is different ways to explain. So that's why many scholars are confused. They don't understand what Jigten Sumgon is saying. So they think Jigten Sumgon saying, explain teaching is like kind of not right. So that's why they debated. But actually, Jigten Sumgon teaching is like more explain is like inner level means like you're not talking about outer level much. So he talk more inner practitioner level. So that's why it's like other many philosophers get confused kind of. And usually the many philosophers kind of same as the scientists, they research outer phenomena laws, focus for object. So Jigten Sumgon is a focus for more inner, mind. So that's why it's a little bit different. That's the reason have some other scholars have contributions. But actually, just main point is the same. Always like debate helps for other teaching is more clear up, helps for clear. Some people has kind of a not really understanding, the misunderstanding, then the teaching didn't go right benefit for others something, because the reason is misunderstand. And some teachers like try to help that not directly, they just helping for indirectly using debate way, If you understand this way, then this has problems like that. Then the canine problems. Oh, then so well, I understand incorrect. I have to understand something different ways. So that's where it's debating also helps for some other teaching. Teaching is become more clear. So Jigten Sumgon, the talk the Gonjek, actually the Satya Pentata, he has a lot debating with that. Some people think, oh, Jigten Sumgon has teaching has mistakes. Satya Pentata, he really think, Jigten Sumgon's Gonjek is wrong. But mostly, who has open mind, who understanding this high level teachers does. So Satya Pentata wanted to, clearly understand, like means like wanted to help the Digong Kagyu lineage followers become understanding Gonjek main point. Jigten Sumgon. If just if the understands another way, it's kind of like then Satya Pentata debate also correct. So we don't have to understand like that way. We have to understand something different ways. Then it's Gonjek is no problems. Kind of like he helping for the clearly understand. So that's mostly understand too. Anyway, that kind of many difference. So now you have this book, and we go into the page 18. Page 18 is a concise explanation of Jigten Sumgon's Essence of Mahayana teaching. I think they're starting from there, page 18. So that is the name. So here is the essence of the concept. A concept explanation is very short here in this text. That's why it's Jigten Sumgon's Essence of Mahayana teachings. Homage and prostration to the Lama and the Supreme Deity. So we homage in the prostration to the Ru Guru and the Supreme Deity is just which Yidam deity is we usually practice, which one is connection to the deity. So we are homage to that. And actually this specifically homage to Manjushri, generally all other Yidam deities. I will here unpack the meaning of what can we describe on the single path that all the true and perfectly awakened Buddhas have treated the path which the children of Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, are currently traversing. So all these Buddhas, Bodhisattvas path follow this teaching. and become enlightenment. So these past Buddhas, present Buddhas, all future Buddhas, and follow this, path, same path. Actually, everyone have to follow same path. Then of course Bodhisattvas, everyone, all currently traversing the entrance way for the fortunate disciples yearning for liberation and emanation Buddhahood. So then our goal is liberation. We're seeking liberation. Who is the seeking liberation? Then they also have to follow this path. So who has teachings this one, that person is kind of who have opportunity to receive this teaching, who has opportunity to practice this teaching. So then that person is like we say here is the fortunate disciple. Fortunate. It's hard to receive this kind of teachings and connect with that. So even become Buddhist. So of course, so many different levels teachings. Then not easy to like connect with this kind of like teachings or the whole Buddhist teaching inside included. So I already talked to share with you the Tibetan tradition has many different Lamrim texts, but actually this one has all completely Tiriyanas Lamrim included. No any other teaching has like this way. So that's why we are fortunate disciple, yearning for liberation and the emanation Buddhahood. The enlightened wisdom or the sublime root and the lineage lamas. So this teaching is all the lineage teachers like omniscient Buddha, the enlightened wisdom of all the sublime root and the lineage lamas, the contents of all the Buddha's teachings and the holy commentaries. So this all the lineage teachers is heart, is this one, heart. Heart is here also essence of the Mahayana, means all the lineages teachers, heart is this teaching. So if you can ask like Malarepa, give me your heart, they give you this teaching. Okay, so that means that cannot give you more than this, anything. So like that, that's why this here says the enlightened wisdom of all the Buddhas, Ru and the lineage lamas, Dorjen Chang, Telopa, Naropa, Marpalosa, Malarepa, Gambopa, Pamotopa, Jigten, Sumgon, all this lineage teachers' heart is this teaching. So then all the Buddha's teaching and the holy commentaries. So all the Buddha's teaching is subsumed into this teaching. So the sutras and tantra and the commentaries, oral teachings. See, mostly Lamrim text is followed by the sutra tradition. So this one has the sutra and the tantra both. So that's the reason here says the sutra, tantra, and transmitted oral teachings, or rolled into one. So oral teaching is followed by Mahamudra. It's into the one. There are 3 sections here. So this teaching is followed by 3 sections. Traditionally referred to as virtue in the beginning is first. The introductory section, so that is the first section. Second is virtue in the middle, the main body of the text. The third one is virtue at the end, the concluding sections. So this teaching is followed by 3 sections: beginning, middle, and end. So same is the when I share with you the supplication to Tara's commentary. So all this Buddha's teaching, when we share, is followed by these 3: virtue in the beginnings, virtue in the middle, and the virtue in the conclusion sections. So that's the generally we share the teachings follow like that way. That is the tradition. So when we share the teaching, okay, today is a virtue, is a beginning. So then everyone knows, okay, part of first part. Virtue in the middle is okay, then second. Why is we call virtue is like the dharma, it's the benefit us. So that's why it's called virtuous. Today here is the part 1. First we share part 1, the introductory section. This text begins with an explanation of the meaning of the title, followed by words of veneration and homage. First, let me unpack the meaning of the title. So it's explain for title. In Sanskrit, it is Mahayana, Nityashasana, Hridha, Nama. So that's the Sanskrit. In Tibetan, the title is Jigten Rinpoche. Then the translated into English as Essence of Mahayana. Teaching is like Mahayana. Khenpo Rinpoche is essence of teachings. So which tells you what the text is going to be about. So why is it called this name is Essence of Mahayana teaching? This going to be, title you what the text is going to be about means like meaning. This is like name is followed by meaning. That's why it's called Essence of Mahayana. So when the Buddha said this teachers giving the teaching, the name is like followed by difference. So this is followed by about means the meaning of the teaching. That's why the name is come from. So then next is on explanation of the former word of homage. The root text by Jigten Sumgon reads, Sang Je Tang San Chok Simpa Tamje La San Chalo. So this is the homage to, Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. So Jigten Sumgon's, the root text by Jigten Sumgon's read means this is in the root text has this homage. So this homage is followed by Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. So why is we homage to Buddha? Because all teachings come from Buddha. And why is homage to Bodhisattvas? So Bodhisattvas ask questions to Buddha. And Buddha giving all these teachings. So that's why it's homage to Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. And then this is recognize this teaching is like also Mahayana, followed by Sutra tradition. So that's why homage to Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. So the beginning here, another homage is like homage and the prostration to the Lama and the Supreme Deity. So that is a commentary homage. When I wrote the commentary homage, so this is a root text homage. That's why it has 2 different homages. So you have to know. No is starting root text from page 20 here. Here the word Buddha or Sanje in Tibetan. So I want to explain a little bit about here is the name and the homage. So this is a part of first part. All this teaching has names. The way in the Sheda, when we share the teaching, that time we also explain about the names. Why is the name? So the Buddha, he shares like 84,000 Dharma teachings. All this, each teaching has names. Each teaching has names. So why they have names? Because many reasons. The main point is they talk about 3 reasons have names. So the 3 reasons also followed by capacity, individual capacity. So first level, like first means like the kind of like more sharp faculties. When they read the name and they understand the whole teaching with what going on there, they understand whole thing, the beginning to end. When they read the the name, and they knows all these teachings, which kind of inside there, what it's talking about. So then another way is like middle way is the teaching, the name is when you read, so then knows, okay, this teaching is belong to Vinayana or Abhidhamma or Sutra. So then knows which categories the teaching is follow. And then the last one, like kind of like just regular people, if you don't know Dharma, but you easy to get the book, the teaching, because they follow the name, So we say, okay, I'm going to teach to them Essence of Mahayana. So you're just going to look for that book. So you can find, the same is the medicine, all medicines has a label, the names like that. So that's the reason Buddha, he has clairvoyance, wisdoms, he giving each text giving the names. Each text giving the names. So that is the follow the name. And then homage also the different homage also follow has the traditionally the book is belong to the teachings if they belong to Vinayana, then we have to homage to Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. The reason is the Vinayana, they talk about more karma cause and effect. Karma cause and effect is not regular people understanding. Even Bodhisattva also don't understanding the subtle level karma cause and effect. That's why we have to homage to Buddha. Only Buddha's omniscience, wisdom, knows all the subtle level cause and karma cause and effect. So then both is belong to the Vinayana belong to homage to Buddha. So then both is belong to another is the Sutra tradition. Then homage to Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. The reason is Buddha taught teaching and the Bodhisattvas ask questions, that kind of discussion together. So discussion, that's why homage to Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. The bow is belong to the Abhidhamma, then homage to Manjushri. So Abhidhamma talk about all these different kind of like the faculties, our body, and the part of this where it's like kind of like come from, and also talk about this auto universal, where it's come from, how to create this auto universal, this inner sentient beings, specifically this body, like all these different part of faculties. So that's all talk about in the Abhidharma teaching. So that's the reason homage to the Manjushri. Manjushri is a representative of wisdom Buddha. So then when you read the homage, so you know so these books belong to that, which part of this three basket. So now you can see this book is belong to Sutra tradition and Buddha's Bodhisattvas homage to that. And also the Mahayana teachings. So that's why we homage to Buddha and Bodhisattvas. So now here is the Sanjes means like we explain that. So Buddha means Tibetan is a Sang and J. So you can read up there Sang Jes. First letter is called Sang. Second is Jes. So here is the word Buddha or Sang and J in Tibetan is understood to refer to a victorious one who has awakened from the sleep-like state of ignorance. Is a Sang. So Sang means is Marek Pinigles Sang means kind of like ignorant is already purified. Ignorance is purified. Sang means like purified. Sang means important is purify actually two obscurations, afflictive emotions, and cognitive obscurations. Two obscurations. Purifying is called Sang. Slave-like state of ignorance. So this is who has awakened from the slave-like state of ignorance. That means a Sang. And then those knowledge of the phenomena world in all its myriad manifestation has fully expanded its J. Then Buddha has all the qualities, knowledge, here says knowledge of the phenomena. So true wisdoms, world in all its myriad manifestations has fully expanded. All the quality is expanded. It's called Je, Sangye. So actually, in all the Buddha's teaching, we can subsumed into these two categories, the Sang and the Je, can explain. You know, the Sang means like, then we already told her, is like, awakening from the slave-like state of ignorance. Then what means like, awakening? What means like kind of a slave-like state of ignorance? Then we have to explain ignorance. Then ignorance is a root. So long as we have ignorance, then attachment arises, anger is arise, pride is arise, jealousy is arise. All this other emotion is based on the ignorance. So one of the Aryan Deva has teaching, he mentioned about ignorance examples. We have our fire has 5 faculties. So the body faculty is same as the ignorance. Body's faculty. So the reason is like other faculties is based on the body's faculties. Body is gone, then other faculty is all gone. So all other faculties like based on the body's faculty. Same is like that. Other emotion is based on or is ignorance. If ignorance is gone, we have become awakened. Our minds awakened. Then other emotion is all gone, can be gone, purified. So like that, it's here we follow is ignorance, how to purify that. then it's all the like Buddha's teachings and laws, then almost like purification, always talk about that section. Then we have to talk about all these emotions. And the J means all the qualities. So Buddha has which kind of qualities? So Buddha has equanimity, love for all beings. Buddha has equanimity, compassion. Buddha has equanimity, bodhicitta, wisdoms. So all this quality is already explained. That is called J. So then actually all the teachings is subsumed. 84,000 Dharma teachings is subsumed into these two words. So that's the Tibetan, the long time ago, this high realized translators bring the like, you know, when the translation is like followed by the meaning. They don't follow the words. They bring the essence. The meaning is the essence is put in the name, you know, meaning. So Sanjay is like, you know, Buddha's name, but then you read this San and you read J, that if you know this word, then you understand what means Buddha. So, so that's I just share with you this the translators who has knowledge, who has realizations, they know how to translate. They bring the words is in the meaning, essence. So then, who have attained the premise, Bodhisattvas, Sanjay, so J is explained in J, to expect perfect omniscience. Then Bodhisattvas are heroic beings who have attained the premise or stage of realizations. So then we are homage to Bodhisattvas. The Bodhisattva is a premise, means like absolute truth Bodhisattvas, not just ordinary Bodhisattvas. This is like absolute truth Bodhisattva who has realized. So Bodhisattvas here is say heroic means they have courage, you know, brave to go into the lower realms to benefit other beings. So save for other beings. They have courage. That's why it's called heroic means. To can do that. So regular beings cannot help for others because we don't have that courage. And this Bodhisattva has courage to help for other beings. That's why it's called heroic beings who have attained then the premise. Because why they have this courage, they already have attained the premise, means high realized. And they have a absolute truth realized. That's why they can benefit others. They have these courages, can help for others. When they help for others, actually they don't get suffering. If we're going to help someone, maybe we also get suffering too. Then we lose our bodhisattva too. Regular beings, sometimes we have good compassion, you know, without wisdom doing something, and then you're going to help for that person, but then you upset again, you know, you upset with it together. So you are become into the emotions together. So then you know both get suffering. So these bodhisattvas benefit others. They don't get emotions. They don't suffering. Same as others does. So that's why they have a courage to do that. That's why called heroic. Okay, so you have to know that when we ready to help for others. Okay, don't go to help for others without wisdom. Otherwise, you are stuck there too. So these bodhisattvas can go into the lower realms to benefit other beings. They can take form, body is animal form to benefit them. So they benefit others. They don't get suffering. That means like they don't into the emotion, you know. So that's why the example is lotus flower. Lotus flower. Lotus flower is grow in the mouth, but it's become is pure and clean. So unstained. Lotus flower is unstained. So this bodhisattva is into the samsara benefit others. They don't get emotions. So we have to know that way. And have given premise or stage of realizations, and who have given rise to the supreme bodhicitta commitment. This stage of realization is like first level bodhisattva to 10th primi bodhisattva. So this all is called stage of realizations. That's all is absolute truth bodhisattvas. Absolute truth bodhisattva has realization, emptiness realization. Realize emptiness. So that's why they don't suffering. If until that is we call relative truth bodhisattva, not absolute truth bodhisattva. Relative truth bodhisattva, we have a courage like to say, I wanted to benefit others. And so sometimes we can help some others, but we don't have like same scale for, you know, and like this way. This bodhisattva has more, you know, courageous, and they have lots of method, and even they have for others, they don't lose the bodhisattva. You know, the vows, commitment. They don't lose commitment. Regular beings sometimes, you know, do something, lose commitment. That's why the Buddha said, beginners don't act, same is practitioners. Practitioners don't action is the same as yogis. Yogis don't action is the same as siddhas. Siddhas don't action, same as Buddhas. So all have to follow by levels. If we don't follow that, then we can be lose our commitments. So that's why we have to recognize our ability. Just cannot jump ignorantly, you know, to do something. First, we have to look ourselves, recognize our ability, what we can do. If we can do that, not end up together emotions. Okay, so that's the most important. Then this bodhisattva commitments, and the bodhisattva abide in the ocean of bodhisattva conduct. So the bodhisattva conduct the same is like depth and the west. So same is oceans. They say, I'm going to benefit all these thinking beings. So that is really big and vast. That's why I call same is ocean. But in the ocean of bodhisattva conduct, without our giving up, they don't give up. Homage to all these Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. So we homage to the Buddha. This homage helps us the remove obstacles. We can have some obstacles, you know, especially when we study Dharma, have obstacles. Why we have obstacles? Because due to maras, you know. So you see the when Buddha is going to enlightenment, this maras disturbing that. And then when Buddha is Siddhartha, so this many maras said that you don't have to go to give up home and stay in the giving suggestions. You stay at home, you know, take care of kingdom. That is a perfect. So that's always maras. So that's disturbing. And so then like that, you know, it's all this each you think about all these realizers that go through these obstacles, because obstacle is you know maras. always distracting if we're doing something good, you know, create obstacles. So that's why this homage helps remove obstacles. So when we going to listening teaching and we chant this opening prayer, mind generation, and homage to Buddha and the Bodhisattvas, Gurus, think about this, the remove obstacles. So this homage helps remove obstacle, and also homage helps completely you receive the teaching too. So that is another reason they put homage. And when the translation homage is like this, teaching is Sanskrit to translation to Tibetan language. That time, this translator is always like high realizes when they translate before the homage to Manjushri, homage to Buddha, the why, because remove obstacles and completely they can do completely translate the whole thing. So that's why they put homage. So our case, we think about this Buddha and the Bodhisattvas homage to them and visualize homage like to them. It's like helpful this remove study this teaching. You know, we can get completely, you know, finish teaching like study. So that's why the homage come from the reasons homage. You know what I mean? So now we go into the part 2. So part 1 is the title and the name and homage. So the part 2 is the main body of the teaching. So part 2 is the main essence teachings or essence teaching. The main teaching can be divided into sections. These are one, cutting through misconception through knowing the 4 dharmas. So this first, this is always like kind of different sections, like it's followed by the teaching can be divided into sections, 4 different sections. The main teaching has 4 different sections. Okay, so the first one is like cutting through misconceptions through knowing the 4 dharmas. So the first one is called 4 dharmas. 4 dharma is cutting through misconceptions. So this first 4 dharma is helps that. Knowing the 4 dharmas. And then second is displaying the force of beings on feet, vessel, through the 4 attitudes. So second, second is called the 4 attitudes. The second is called 4 attitude. So that is like we have to. Second one is we have to do the displaying the force of beings, displaying, you know, like removing the force of being in unfit vessel means clean up our body, speech, mind. So helpful, you know, like Dharma is suited for us. Helpful Dharma is into our mind. So without this second 4, it's Dharma is not into our mind. So that's why the displaying the force of beings in unfit vessel through 4 attitudes. Then third one is accomplishing the nectar essence of the teachings through 4 tenets. So the number 3 has is the essence of teaching, actually the accomplishing the nectar essence of the teachings. So the essence of teaching through 4 through the four tenets. And then fourth one is the four assimilating the essence of the teaching through meditating on the five-fold path. So this all is comes like one by one, and this is just the main body of the teaching, the names, you know. So this is to give you whole this teaching, the book Essence of Mahayana, included these four different sections. The first one has four, second one has four, third one has four, fourth one has five sections, different levels. So this is the kind of like main body, whole teaching. Then is now we're going to share with you. This is going to like one by one. The first one, the four dharmas. The four dharmas. Let us begin to unpick the first set of four. First, the four dharmas. So let us begin to unpick the first set of four. The four is the first four is one. First one, finding the lamas. Finding the lamas. The first dharma deals with how to find a lama. Lama means just here is the main point is a teacher. You know, lama is like Tibetan words, and the Sanskrit is a guru, and then just usually with like English where it's like teacher, spiritual teacher, so lama. In the root text, Jigten Sumgon writes, wrote. This past present sometimes I misunderstand. I don't know the right or wrote.
Right.
Wrote. Right. Okay. Right. So this is the root text come from Jigten Sumgon. The first words, look for it's okay. Tibetan is called Yanda Lamdong Tsending Lama Tsar. Look for a qualified lama who can show you the authentic spiritual path. So that's the root text. So now there say thing about root text say we have look for a qualified lama who can show you the authentic spiritual path. So this is like many different kind of way people understand. Some is like thinking about like very long-term traditionally. Some is like we think about it just in this time, like different. So, get a phone calls. And okay, think about it, like Tibetan tradition. Right now, we look for qualified lama, or we actually right now is we looking for kind of more which called the score, or like which sheda, which monastery, mostly look for that way. Example, we go to the land sheda, like we look to the sheda, not teacher. We don't know any teacher there. Sometimes like just we go to, I want to go to in that sheda. Same is like student go to the universities, schools. They don't know the teacher, right? Who's the teacher? But they say, okay, that school is good, so people wanted to go there. Think about it, like universities. Okay, that has a good university. I want to go there. We pick up university. We don't pick up the teacher, right? So like that. Mostly this time in Tibet, we go to the sheda to follow the university, like Buddhist university, and then we get there. Then who's the teacher doesn't matter. We just like, I wanted to receive Abhidhamma. Who talked to Abhidhamma? We receive from the Abhidhamma. Who talked to Vinayana? We receive teaching Vinayana from that teacher. So this is another just following like that, And then long time ago, say that some teachers really follow the traditionally, like student look to the teacher, that student investigate qualified teachers. So teacher also qualify student, look for qualified students. They look for each other. Sometimes they take 3 years looking for each other, testing, you know. So if we look for that way, then Garchen Rinpoche, when he shared this teaching, that time he said, if you look for that way, you never can find any teacher this time. You never find the students. You never find a teacher. So this is teachers teaching, you know, of course, say like higher level, but you know, first you have to go into first step what you get. Then you can go to second step you can get. Then you can, okay, look for more, you follow by your level, you know, your practitioner level. If you don't have like first grade, like you need a second grade, like who can teach in the, like, think about this is school, right? If you don't have first grade, so we have to follow by this first category or first score. So say I need you say I need some, my teacher is like who talked in the university, and some is a really high level teachers who share in the university. You say I wanted that teacher, so that is not suitable for you because it's due to your education level, right? So what do you need? You need, like example, like you just kindergarten, you need a kindergarten teacher. You are in the high school, you need a high school teacher. So then you are become more, you know, education. Then you need high level teachers. So we follow that way. It's better, you know. Otherwise, like you just right now we are in the kindergarten. You say I want only university highest level teacher. I want only that teacher. Then that teacher never you that time to teach to you. That teacher don't have time, so you don't get that teacher. You don't get benefit too. So that like that way we have to follow. Otherwise, like we don't really get teacher, and teachers also of course cannot get any students. That time teachers really don't give teaching for students. They really make sure they can really can practice or not. They check. So otherwise they don't give teaching for everyone. We say, oh yeah, we can have for compassionally for everyone, but the long term this traditionally that didn't think like that way. You know, they really low to the king, really can hold the teaching, follow. You know, whatever difficulty comes, not giving up. So that kind of looking for student, then they give teaching. Whatever difficulty, you know, go through hardship. So for the teaching, they can give up everything. So that kind of student they're looking. So that's the reason that time, you know, very few teacher, very few students. They don't have many because it's like only authentic way follow. Yeah. Thank that. And so now here is like Jigten Sumgon said, look for a qualified Lama who can show you the authentic spiritual path. So now this is the commentary. It's any fortunate disciple who wants to attain the state of a perfectly awakened Buddhahood must rely on sublime spiritual guide. Who wanted to become liberation, of course, rely on the teacher. If you wanted to get PhD degree, so always rely on teacher. Without a teacher, not possible to you going to get PhD degree. You know, doctor's degree, right? So you wanted to get degree, so you have to rely on all the different teachers, step by step. So we wanted to become Buddhahood. or must rely on some spiritual guide. The source of all benefit and happiness, without whom it would be impossible to attain enlightenment. So then, source of our benefit and happiness, like when we become Buddha, so then we can benefit many other beings. Also, that is when we have become Buddha, that is the permanent happiness. So when we have become Buddha and our own benefit, others benefit. Source is like source of all beings benefit and happiness. Without whom it would be impossible. Without teacher, not possible to attain enlightenment. So the condensed perfection of wisdom states. So this is the Buddhas in the quotes. Qualified lamas must always be relying upon. The reason is that all knowledge and accomplishment ensue from them. So we have to rely on the teacher. Why we have to rely on the teacher, the reason is all this knowledge, Dharma knowledge, and the accomplishment ensue from them. You know, Dharma knowledge is come from the teacher. Without a teacher, we don't get Dharma knowledge. Without the Dharma knowledge, we don't know how to liberate, how to get liberation, how to benefit others. So that's why we have to rely on teacher first. As stated above, the Lama we should seek is one who, at the level of Vinaya. So now, this is a commentary. I put a commentary. It's 3 different ways commentary explain. Lama means. So if you're going to receive Vinayana, which kind of teacher you need? Okay. If you're going to receive Sutra Mahayana teaching, which kind of teacher you need? If you're looking for Mahamudra, then which kind of teacher we need? So this is all followed by different ways. Explain. As stated above, the Lama we should seek is one who, at the level of Vinaya, as imbued with the pure ethical discipline and has not transgressed the vows and conduct. So Vinayana, all these practices followed by conduct. We usually, Buddhist teaching is subsumed conduct and view. So Vinayana, all these teaching is followed by conduct. That's why teacher must have to have a good conduct. Follow the Buddhas like in the Vinayana teaching. So that kind of conduct, you know, has not transgressed the vows and conduct. This means the Lama should abide in the accordance with the law of cause and effect. So who follow the cause and effect. So then you can find like that kind of teacher. So it's suitable. We can receive Vinayana teaching from that teacher, and we can receive the Vinayana vow from that teacher. So example like monks vows, nuns vows. So have to receive which kind of teacher we have to find. So the teacher has not transgressed the vows and the conduct. They're not talking about realization. The teacher has a realization. If they have realization, that is good. You know, even the teacher no any realization, even the teacher is not really compassion that much, but most important is ethical discipline, okay, conduct. So long as that has conduct, we have received these vows from that Lama teacher. Abide. Okay, this means the Lama should be abide in accordance with the law of cause and effect. At the level of Mahayana, so then another Mahayana teaching, The Lama we seek must have pure compassion and bear the burden and the responsibility to accomplish only others' benefit. So then it's you're going to receive bodhicitta vows, or you're going to receive Mahayana teachings, and then which kind of teacher we need? The teacher need compassion. The compassion is the most important. The key is the compassion. So wanted to benefit others, teacher must have to have a compassion. I want to help for this person. I want to benefit these people. So that kind of compassion must have to have. We can pure compassion and bear the burden and the responsibility to accomplish only others' benefit. So then, of course, that also has different levels. Compassion is generally we talk about compassion. Of course, this compassion also have different levels. Some teacher also have wanted to help for others. Then, of course, the ordinary person who has compassion for others. Some has like high realizer teachers, compassion for others, but both has compassions, but then there's of course different, their own practice level is totally different. Regular Buddhist has compassion for others. They cannot put like everything is like and bear the burden and responsible to accomplish only others' benefits. So they also regular Buddhist has compassion that they put their kind of whatever they can help for others, like that kind of compassion for others. Okay, I can help this way for in these people. I don't give up what I can help. So that kind of like regular, ordinary Buddhist has compassion. So that kind of way. And then high realizers is like the bear the burden and the responsibility to accomplish only others' benefit. That is the highest level. Okay, so that kind of teacher is Mahayana. At the level of Mantrayana means then Tantaram, Vajrayana teaching, the Lama should be imbued with the blessings of the lineage of stage of practice. Then the Lama, the teacher, must have to have lineage blessing, means they must have to have empowerment and transmissions come from their own teacher, unbroken lineage blessing. With the blessing of the lineage of the stages of practice, then of course, plus that, more good qualities, the Lama we say should be imbued with the quality of intelligence and wisdom, such that his or her knowledge and experience imbue him or her to explain any aspect of the sutras and the tantras. So then the Lama should imbue with the quality of intelligence and wisdom. So this is generally, teacher has need qualities. Because if you are Vinayana teacher, not only enough ethical discipline, not only conduct enough, you must know Vinayana teachings. So you have to know how to give the vows for others. If you don't know that, then you are just no teacher. Of course, you have the Vinayana, vows. You have the vows, but you cannot be teacher because if you don't know. So that's why during the Buddha time, this Buddhist tradition is followed by these qualities. First is like, okay, who has vowels? Who has vowels? The vowel is like, example, the senior ones more important. Senior ones like who take the vowels first. Then second quality is like knowledge. Who has vowels already long time, but they don't have a knowledge. Then someone vowels is not too long, but they has the knowledge. Then that person is the first. So that is the Buddhas, like we generally, that time tradition. Example, like which teachers, like we say higher teacher, who has more higher level. So they're followed by vowels with knowledge. And it's like same knowledge, then they look to who take first vowel, like who's more senior. So then that is the first, and the second is the who received the second time, the vowels, like time follow the time. The senior one is more important, but then senior one no knowledge, so the younger one has more knowledge, then the younger one is more important than the senior ones. So senior one have to receive the teaching from the younger ones, like kind of like, So that way the Buddhas, like during that time, is already his student follow. The like kind of like, who's the number one, who's the second, who's the third, like follow that way. So that is followed by these qualities. Lineage is the stage of practice. The Lama who is, okay, so then this last one is of course like who share the Mahayana teaching. The person must have to have a knowledge, and who talk about Vajrayana teaching, they must have to have a knowledge. So that is the most important quality. Without this knowledge, you cannot share the teachings. So that's why that is the most important. So then that is how to finding the Lama, how to rely on finding the Lama. That kind of teacher we have to find. So then secondly, how to rely on the teacher. Once we have found such an authentic, qualified master, who should we then rely upon him or her? Then how to rely on that? This is the second point. Addressed in the root text by Jigten Sumgon as follows. Kyomi Gepe Tompa Kajendrop. So with devotion that never grows weary. See, think about Malarepa. Malarepa has very strong devotion to Marpa Lota. Never grows weary. So never he desponding, like kind of like he thinks my teacher is 100% wrong. I don't like him. Never he think that. Whatever he get difficulties. So he always think he is wrong. He never think Marpa Lota is something wrong. Other people think Marpa Lota is something wrong. When Marpa Lota given lots of hardship for Malarepa. So of course Malarepa he has other students. Marpa Lota has other students, and then some other just regular people see what Marpa Lota done, drawing things with Malarepa. So they think Marpa Lota has something, problem. But Malarepa himself, he never think anything has any problem for Marpa Lota. Whatever problem is, he think he has something going on. So that's why see, it's with devotion that never grows weary. Practice in accordance with the instructions. So then practice is like what teacher giving instructions, or this follow by instructions of the Buddha's teaching. Teacher, so of the Buddha, the teacher. So that's the rely on the teacher. So root text, no, it's like commentary. We should follow the Lama with the depth and ongoing devotion of body, speech, and mind. Mind never grow weary or restless. Whatever Dharma teachings Lama give regarding what to do and what not to do, we should receive them as if we are hearing the words directly from the Buddha. If we do this, the benefit and impact of these instructions on our mind will be greater. So then if we follow that way, actually we get benefit. Students get benefit. So we follow the teacher's instruction. So we rely on the teacher. So then this instruction on our mind will be greater, become our qualities become, more greater and greater, increasing, and our, negative qualities are going to decreasing and purify karma. So in this section is like followed by more Vajrayana tradition where, so each this Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, a little bit different ways. Vajrayana is a very strong devotion, where to rely on the teacher. Devotion is the key. So then also I always share this way, when you study, that time, your devotion is not important. When you practice, then devotion is very important. Without the devotion, really, we can't get any blessing from the teachers. But when we study, that time, it's you need like, your knowledge, use the knowledge and intellectual and investigation. So understanding clearly, okay, teacher says something wrong, you don't have to accept that. Say, okay, I heard this is like, maybe it's wrong, so you can ask questions. And, so more followed by intellectual way. And that's the reason some in the Buddha's teaching, mostly the philosophy area, that says, like, Buddha also himself, he said, investigation me, investigate my teaching, investigate, my teaching. So think that, not first like step is devotion, like, oh, so strong devotion, whatever teacher say, I'm going to follow that, doing things. So that is like when you practice, that is great, but when you study, not necessary that, So intellectual investigation, knowledge is very important. If a teacher says something mistake, so you have to recognize and you can ask questions. You can give a challenging to teacher too. So this is the philosophy way, And then when you're really going to practice into Dharma, so that time is like devotion is very important. Without the devotion, so we don't really get any feelings also. So you really don't get connections. Then of course, like when you get more devotion, then also when you receive teaching, also different. So really come into your mind, It's good to have that too, that way. So think about, we should follow the Lama with depth in ongoing devotion of body, speech, and mind, never grow weary or restless. Whatever Dhamma teaching the Lama give regard what to do and what not to do, we should receive them as if we are hearing the words directly from the Buddha. If we do this, the benefit and the impact of these instructions on our mind will be greater. So that's really helpful our mind, if follow that way. How to place the Lama. And the laws like here is like everything is like our body, speech, mind is giving, offering to teacher, and everything rely on teacher. So laws like we don't have any choice, but this is like practitioners did follow this way. Practitioner not like that way. Actually, teachers don't benefit anything. Like who follow this way, student get benefit, because our mind will be greater again and again, purify karma. So it's called skillful method. This time, sometimes people say, oh, Vajrayana is too much rely on teacher. I cannot follow that. So people say that, but that is like really misunderstand. That is not talking about equal right, anything. Of course, equal right, everyone is Buddha. That is the highest level equal right, all beings is Buddha. So this is like rely on teacher is teacher don't get benefit. Who rely on this way, we get benefit. Become our mind is become more greater and greater for qualities increasing, purify karma. So that is the follow by with just traditions, like think about all the histories. All these teachers really rely on the teachers. And Marpa Loza, he when he left from India, from his teacher Naropa, that's called Pulahara is mountain. The hair is like mountain, and the Naropa live at the top of the hill in the mountain. So they have all so many the stairs, like kind of like steps, falling all the way to ground. It's like takes maybe more than hours going down, get in the down there. Mapa laws are never just like go like regular way. He just each step he doing post stations, like go back, and each step he doing post stations all the way go into the ground, top in the hair to ground. So think about that. So where is that Mapa Lota's devotion come from? Because he recognized his teacher is Buddha. So when he rely on his teacher, he get qualities. So he has the kind of like uncertain, what is uncertain devotion, maybe uncertain devotion, like strong devotion, like or irreversible devotion or something like that. I don't know how to say exactly. So that kind of he has because he recognize teacher's qualities, and when he rely on the Naropa and he get realization. So that's why that has strong respect. And then Mapa Loza, he has like that kind of devotion to his teacher. He did so much hardship receiving teachings. So when he come back in Tibet, he don't want to just give like whatever they want. He wanted to show something for others. That's why he didn't found any student, only Malarepa. He can do that. Malarepa only can do that. So that's why he gave hardship for Malarepa. Malarepa also has strong devotion like that too. Mapalota. So then they all become Buddha because that through the devotion they get actually enlightenment. So we have to know that way, not just right now people thinking, right now people is kind of like lot misunderstand. Sometimes people say, oh, Vajrayana teaching too much relying on teachers. I have to bow down teacher. I don't want to do that, like that. So these teachers, like you can think about Mapa Lotsa, Malarepa, Gambopa, Jigten Sumgon, like that kind of teacher you think about, bow down to like that. And then today, example, you receive this teaching from me, and I have this the lineage, the instruction or the transmissions. So I'm sharing with you. When you receive teaching, like you think it's I'm receiving this teaching directly from Jigten Sumgon, like kind of like think that is then you can get more benefit. There comes more devotion. Okay, so that is the second. The rely on the teacher, how to please the Lama, then how do we take care of the Lama. The way to serve the Lama, to please the Lama is the third point, explained by the next line in the root text. Oh, so I think we finished the time here. So what do we do? I think we're going to finish this one. How to release the Lama. Home where serve the Lama to please Lama is the third point explained by the next line in the root text. Sanzeng Zeta Sigya Dropen Chu venerate the Lama with material offerings, service of body and speech and practice. So this also followed the three different levels. The beginners, please the Lama is offerings, material offerings. Then second level, go up level is service of body and speech. Then the highest level is practice. Practice Dharma is the highest level placed to the Lama. This line points to the three ways of placing the Lama, closed in terms of lesser, middling, and supreme. The lesser way of placing the Lama is through making material offerings. So that's we know material offerings. Then second is to make genuine offerings, means to do so without duplicity. Offerings to Lama any material things I see that are generated with integrity in accordance with the Dharma, such as food, clothing, bedding, and household items, medicals, jewels, and so forth. Material offerings are the lowest form of offering. So this material offering is that's always like when we do something practicing, always like offering the first level because it's first practicing, and that shows like respect for Dharma and really wanting, like teachers checking is really wanting or not, So you are more rely on the material. Your material is most important to you, or Dharma is most important to you. So that's why teachers also some traditionally they're checking, and so then student also offering to the teachers. So when before giving the teachings in Tibetan tradition, we offering the kata like all every like big teachings. You see the like everyone offering to kata beginning like doing that. So that means like we offering body, speech, mind is to the Dharma. So offering, so that is the first level. It's like for lesser close to terms of lesser ones means like first step. So now we're doing like every day, like when we share the teaching, every time before we do the mandala chanting prayer. So that time we mentally our body, speech, mind, all our materials offering to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So we're doing that, The reason is that one. So then of course this traditionally is like hard laws, stories too. Marpa Loza, when he was in Tibet, he wanted to receive teaching, but very high, offerings very high. Same is like right now we go to the university like this, the what they call we have to pay for university, right? What they call scholarship or no?
Tuition.
Tuition is very high, yeah. Same time like comes to my mind. You saying same time tuitions, it's very high, right? So usually most students can afford the university. And the Marbalos are like, or that time is in Tibet, like kind of a tradition is like that. India also like that too. So Marbalos, he can afford in Tibet. He wanted to receive teachings, learn these teachings, but then teachers' tuition is so high. So then he went to India. That's the reason. One reason he went to India. So then he wanted to study India, like this Sanskrit, and wanted to translation. And then of course Marbaloza also went to India, so he come back to Tibet to go collect the gourds. Collect the gourds and go to India receiving teachings. So Mapa Loza offering gourd or these teachers, then he received teachings. So one day, like Naropa didn't give teaching him, so he asked offerings, like then Mapa Loza offering all these gourds Naropa. So then Naropa actually throw all these gourds in the forest, in the forest, like it said, like in the yogi realized the gourd and just regular object is nothing different for me, he said. So the goal is because it's like reason is you have to care about the Dharma. That's why. For me, goal is nothing important. But for you, you have to care about the Dharma. That's why. It's representative goal is Dharma, offering to the Dharma, receiving. So then Mapa Losa, he giving teachings, he always give hardship for Malarepa. You don't have any offerings. I'm not going to give you teaching. So he cannot give many reasons to give punish to Malarepa, right? He give always one reason is you don't have a goal, you don't have offerings, I don't give you teaching. So Malarepa also really he think he need something offerings, but Marpa Loss actually he don't need anything offerings, but he just giving punish is the using is you don't have any offerings. Yeah, so then that's why he didn't give teaching, like he give all hardships. And I also heard this, when in the Persian, this is like, see, this time, in the Persian, like during this 1959 to 80 between this Gachen Rinpoche, they all went into the Persian. So that time, Khenpo Mincer, he going to give teaching for the, secretly they request him to teaching. So he said, who can offering goal, so I teach, otherwise no teaching. So then Garchen Rinpoche has a goal, so he offering goal. So that is I heard from many other teachers said that, like his Garchen Rinpoche, I think he also said that he offering the goal for Khenpo Mincer in the present. So then Khenpo Mincer giving the teaching. So why is that? It means like the teaching is very precious. So you have to show something, symbols, recognize before giving the teaching. So offerings. So that kind of like lots of histories, you have. And I saw this like Gachen Rinpoche did that also one time. Khenpo Sutram Lord who come to US, he shared teaching, like we know the Khenpo Jimmy Pinto's disciple, he come to Ohio teaching in Virginia, also he give teachings. So he is right now in Tibet. In Tibet, it's kind of like very high level scholar and well knowing, so everyone knows, like kind of rely on teacher. Very famous. So he also, I heard he's sharing this, like he said, Khenpo means giving teaching in the present, Dzogchen teachings, Gachen Rinpoche offering gold that time in the, the teaching, receive the teaching in the present. So he told that in the teaching. So Khenpo Sutram Lord, he just don't know really. He don't share. So he researched and he really did that or not. Garchen Rinpoche offer gold Khenpo Mincer. So Garchen Rinpoche did, and he understand that's why he shared that. Okay, so that's always miraculous. Actually, in the Persian, you cannot get a gold. They don't have anything, but some reasons Garchen Rinpoche hide the gold. And when Khenpo Mincer say, I need a gold, then I can teach. So if no gold, I'm not going to teach. So he offering the gold. Then all these teachers receive, all the lamas receive teaching that time. So now, right now, we do this mentally. You know, like when we chant the mandala offering, our body, speech, mind offering to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. The reason is because we have very strong our self-grasping, self and I. So we offering, so that's become created like lots accumulation merit during this teaching time is offering. That's the reason we chant the mandala offering. And then also respect Dharma. So very high respect Dharma, then benefit us. So then third is like, next is the offering of a service. This means to offer service of body and speech with the faith of admiration, longing, and trust in the Lama. Serving the Lama through body and speech is the middling form of offering. So then someone like, taking care of the teacher. So like example, each teacher has attendance, like kind of like that attendance taking care. So when you taking care of the teachers, so that's the second part of this offering. Then finally, that means listening to the teaching, contemplating the meaning, and meditating in the practice. What the Lama has taught is known as the offering of practice, and is the highest form of offerings. So this is the highest level. When teachers share the teachings, who practice that teaching. So that is the highest level of offering. Offering practice, and it's the highest form of offering. The way to listen to the teachings and to study and contemplate the Dharma through relying on the Lama is described in the root text as follows. So that's the rely on the teacher. Three difference, yeah. So today we can leave it there. How to first we have to finding the teaching, finding the Lama, and how to rely on the Lama, how to please the Lama. So these three things, think about, okay? So you can think these three, and so that's is talking about the teacher, but then also come to students too. Rely on means. Okay, so now you have any questions, we can discussion.
Khenpo, when you talk
Yes.
the teacher having knowledge, is that having received all the empowerments of the lineage? Is that being a scholar like you? Is it having the wisdom, or everything?
Just I think main point is which teaching is the teacher going to share. You have to know that teaching is, not talking about the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're sharing the 4 thoughts meditation, then you know what you have to know what means 4 thoughts. Understanding clearly, knowledge. So then,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So today is we follow exactly like this monastery. Usually we share the teaching, So receiving like that way. It's a whole, the book is that usually takes monthly there actually when we share. So we do here is like 1 month, 1 way, 1 times only. Maybe, I don't know how long take. So we can see. Then if you cannot join some sections, you can receive this video recordings, I think. So you can listening. It's good thing you listening that if you cannot directly, join the teaching, something you going on. So then you comes next, it's like you understand more clearly. Some otherwise like part of gone, and you join like some areas like become not really clear.
I'll
So
put
that means like you, yes.
I'll put them all up on the YouTube channel.
Mm. Okay. So then also this teaching some areas English also hard, harder to explain. So hopefully okay. And if I did a mistake, so you let know me. Okay. Sometimes also I did the mistake is like because what I thought, what I says is become different. I wanted to say yes, I'm saying no, something like that, you know. So sometimes English, like, you know, I try to say like negative, it's become like my, you know, I don't know the grammar, it naturally comes positive way. If something is like going to positive way, it's like comes like negative way, you know, because due to grammar follows. So that's kind of also sometimes the misunderstand you can get.
Khenpo,
Yes,
you are
sir.
really, really, really good teacher. I'm
Oh,
so
thank you.
thank
I
you.
do know that. I'm good, but the teaching is very good, you know. The
Oh,
book, the teaching, yeah.
the person that's teaching the teaching is very good too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so then anyone has questions? So no questions, I can see that. It's very clearly understand that means. I'm going to do the dedication. And ma ngom zara zanje na wan da ye se jo du je je mo da yon de se ban de je do na lai san je san se ba me ko je de je ngom zara ba de me ba ye de wa jin je za we jen bang de da yen de ne se be jer ma da je wa yin je par ma ju bar Tere jine nande yandong yo nege daga mola nabane. Soje sanje sansen danje je geme drabar sinje lam. Tiya da benzare ya awan bode na ye soa. Sanju senpyo rinpoche ma je banam je joro je ba nyam ba me ba ya. Kone gonde beware yo, sonam deye samje zirvanye, sonan nyembe, jana banze de jiga namje bala nruvaye, sepen zole drova drovare yo, chamara pave jadaran jemba, kenda zambo deyan de yende, de da genje jisa dalo, gewan de da damje rab de ngo. Genze genjen ji je je temren elai wandom ji gongba rinjen bar je demba zende bar je do de san gombe zinjor je o mane be me o mane be me o mane be me o mane be me Om mani padme hum, mani padme hum, mani padme hum, mani padme hum. Thanks everyone. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Khenpo.
Thank you,
Thank
Khenpo.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Khenpo, so much.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye everyone. Lona, you have really nice door.
You. Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
The door also listening teaching, yeah?
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.